I have also been testing stuff in the Space Master mode, and indeed there is some sort of a sweet spot for engine size where you get the most range for your ships. This means that hopefully in the future I will not require such immense ships for everything I do. Another thing I was testing in the Space Master mode is how the battles work, since it's starting to look like I might have to get into one soon. What I've learned is that the enemy right now is probably clearly outnumbering me. Also, I've learned on the forums that size 5 missiles aren't necessarily the best, since they can be so easily destroyed by anti-missile defenses, and armored missiles are actually pretty cheap. That's why I'm making the switch to size 8 missiles. Previously, much of the resources of Earth went into expanding the capacity for future research and so on. Now that the infrastructure was in place, new combat capability was possible to be quickly built. Two new naval shipyards and a new commercial one were built for new types of ships. Let's actually take a look at that. And of course my research here. Let's show everything that is completed, excluding the start, just quickly. I will not describe everything I am doing, of course, like always that's the case. just some things that seem like they are a good idea to talk about. One of the more important new ship types is of course the Bangaram class cruiser. Let's take a look at it. Yes, here. Because of the improved knowledge of building efficient engines, it's got a whopping 7,500 kilometers per second speed, while still having some firepower. 5 size 8 missile launchers and 33% reduction on them. I believe they have let's see, rate of fire 906, so not extremely good, but they aren't designed to be really to just spam. But anyway, while still having some firepower, 5 armor rating, and 47.9 billion kilometer range. And not a good fuel usage, but what can you do with warships? It's not supposed to be moved around much, except in battles. So it's got 5 size 8 missile launchers and ordnance for 2.5 reloads. It's not supposed to be able to span ridiculous quantities of missiles overwhelming the opponent, but instead use both armored and only slightly armored but high-yield missiles. The first ones potentially diminishing any anti-missile defenses, and the second ones going for the kill. It can fire at 4,000 or more ton targets at a range of about 200 million kilometers, and a range of about 200 million kilometers is hopefully even enough to outrange the enemies. More range would have meant diminished firepower or even larger missiles, but those weren't considered viable or good for the long term. On 23rd of July 2087, the first cruiser finished building. There are 12 of such ships as of January 2090, and the plan is to build maybe 10 to 20 more. The AI uses a lot of ships, so I should also to protect myself. Let's actually take a look at my missile designs. So here is the high yield missile, one arm, and quite a lot of speed. They are designed to target to pretty consistently hit 5 kilometers per second moving targets. And here is the heavily armored missile. This is, by the way, strange that the MSP allocation here doesn't retain the names. But anyway, my naming scheme gives me all sorts of information that's good for comparing the different designs I have. The cruisers themselves don't have active sensor capabilities. That job is for 500-ton scout ships. If I could find them, monitor flash. Yes, here. There are two types, ones that sense 6,000-ton targets and the ones that sense 1,500-ton targets. Other types are being considered, but for now these should be enough. So pretty much just fuel, 2 engines and an active sensor and a small engineering space. The other ship is pretty much like this also. Just with the other type of sensor. Yes. There is also the mothership design, which serves as both a hangar for 4 scouts and a ship that can take a small fleet with it through a jump point. They aren't particularly cheap, but they will do if I lose one or something. It's not that big of a loss, I don't feel like. It's still going to be annoying, but they don't have any expensive sensors, etc. So, a combined salvage and rescue ship is also being designed. It has its own cargo holds, enough for 50,000 tons of salvaged material. It's of course not ready yet. Even though we... was there something I missed? Terraformers? Maybe not. I don't know. Gate builder. These were from the previous session. Early warning craft. I don't think this is what I talked about yet. So this design, it sort of feel like this is what I will be talking about in the future. But apparently it's not in my notes anyway. So this is what the motherships will take them to any possibly hostile. Now I found it. However, since the enemies might have a means to locate active sensors and the motherships can be quite expensive, there is also a passive sensor equipped early warning craft that will be the first craft to go through a wormhole behind which there are suspected to be aliens. It isn't equipped with a jump drive because it will go with the mothership, which will then immediately turn back if all goes according to a plan. So, decent fuel usage, decent range, and of course, decent sensors, and they are relatively cheap. At least compared to most of my other designs. I still probably design far too big ships for my own good. Uh, Now then, even though we W aliens were once mostly on the spotlight, a new breakthrough on Alpha Centauri B3's life was also prominently on the news. The first organisms discovered were microbial, both single-celled and, for whatever reason, yes, now here it is. Earth Centauri, yes. The first organisms discovered were microbial, both single-celled and multicellular, that were capable of transforming carbon dioxide and nitrogen dissolved in the water to usable forms. However, larger but still quite small gilt transparent organisms were found shortly afterwards that were eating the autotrophs almost all of the day. These in turn were filter fed by another transparent organism. Another species of filter feeder tried to camouflage itself as eyes. There were predators that produced bioluminescence and saw in the infrared spectrum and could sneak up on the prey. Some species of hunters weren't so sneaky and instead worked in packs. Some filter feeding organisms even were noticed to cling to the ice sheet using 3 tentacle-like appendages. The appendage-using organisms were mostly found near the surface, and the others were found deeper. Other small, less than 10 centimeters in diameter, maybe about 3 centimeters for most of them, immobile organisms with a central air bag and very simple organs, from it long narrow tentacles were protruding in all directions. Was another one. Our small organisms. Where should be were found or something. Anyway, when one of the test subjects was subjected to even a small amount of heat, it released spores which fell to the ocean floor. This behavior was puzzling to the scientists at first, but the reason for this was soon discovered, as well as the reason no large permanently attached organisms were found clinging to the ice sheet. The scientists previously didn't believe this planet could even support large life forms because it was believed the subsurface ocean was under a permanent ice sheet, so it would be poor in oxygen, but it was later noted that since the planet has a day length of 146 days, it should be around here somewhere. Here, days 146. The ice sheet actually melts during the day. I know, I should have thought about that sooner and made the probe land on the water instead, but I can't really change history now, can I? And of course I haven't really made any calculations if that it's really the case if that would melt, but the temperatures on planets can be quite difficult to simulate. They depend on all sorts of things: the atmospheric composition, of course, the distance from the sun, the probably whether we have volcanic activities and the tidal forces, maybe things like that, all sorts of stuff. So let's just take that my explanation for granted. Okay, where was I? How life even evolved in such an unstable environment is currently under debate. The leading hypothesis is that, much like what happened on Mars, the atmosphere was much thicker in the past, but was gradually lost into space. This is just a bit higher gravity world than Mars, I believe. It was also theorized that volcanism keeps the ocean mineral rich and suitable for life. Well, sustainable, of course, is another thing that it keeps. But anyway, when the probe started to move, when the probe moved, and not anything less about starting. When the probe moved to the melted area, the reason why this planet has oxygen in its atmosphere became clear. There were huge colonies of photosynthesis capable organisms akin to Earth's algae, but with different cellular structures. The ones discovered were red in color, probably to protect them against ultraviolet radiation. Some species were even found capable of clinging to the ice sheet and entering into a state of cryptobiosis, surviving inside the ice from filter feeders. These algae-like organisms supported a whole ecosystem of large organisms that fed on them and predators. At one point, the probe itself was attacked by a very shark-like organism, but it managed to fend itself off with electric shocks. Of course, even on Earth, there are just a couple of basic body plans for aquatic life, and of course there are some that are rare for special ecosystems and lifestyles and stuff. I don't think it's that actually I think it's even quite probable that there would be things like fish-like or shark-like beings if there are such large not animals but organisms on a planet that has oceans like this. Anyway, at one point the probe itself was attacked by a very shark-like organism, but it managed to fend itself off with electric shocks. Some instrumentation was damaged, but fortunately it's capable of simple autonomous repairs since it's very expensive to launch new probes. Since the probe was designed to... Will you stop that? My lungs are they responsible? What? Anyway, whatever that was all about, stop that, buddy. Since the probe was designed to withstand high pressures, since this planet was known to contain lots of waters, it also dove deeper during its research mission. Deeper in the ocean, scavengers with great sense of smell were found feasting on dead organisms falling from the surface. Also on the ocean floor, another ecosystem. Actually, inside the ocean floor, another ecosystem was found. There were endoliths that live inside the ocean floor and dissolve the rock with acids they can produce, feeding on iron and other minerals in it. They also produce organic compounds which are necessary for their survival. These life forms have a very slow reproduction rate, and some even have the ability to stop their metabolism and enter into cryptobiosis, which seems to be not that rare on this planet, actually. Presumably for times when nutrients are low. They probably have some sort of a common ancestor. Or maybe they developed autonomously. Different species that have that ability. Anyway, some organisms even have some sort of a symbiotic relationship. The autotroph organisms are fed on by other microorganisms. Closer to the shores, a new ecosystem was found that resembled kelp forests. These life forms were capable of pulling themselves down and entering a state of dormancy when it got cold. Research on this ecosystem is just beginning, but the organisms appear to be using it to hide from predators, much like on Earth. And maybe I'll think of some more differences than just pulling themselves down. It seems a bit too simple. But anyway, they only resembled, so maybe I'll think of something in the next videos. By the way, what do you mean you don't like my description of the planet? You ungrateful piece of cannon fodder! Obey your lord and master! Anyway, because of these unexpected findings, a new probe will be sent which is capable of flying and will search the land and air for any signs of life. Also, the programming on the old probe is constantly being adjusted to suit the new situation better. All of this talk about alien life has of course had a major impact on religions, which already has been on in plural had been on decline. I think that's still correct. There's not really much to distinguish plural from singular form in that. But anyway, some condemn these creatures as unholy, and some say that the god or gods created all of the life in the universe, including these extraterrestrials. On the other hand, there have been many conspiracy theories about whether these aliens are even real or just a government hoax meant to scare the public into submission for the elite's personal goals. There have been an awful lot of military ships being built recently. Even though these haven't gotten much ground, it would be troubling if these were to be widely accepted, since it would be even harder to gain the necessary funds for defense. The research on gene manipulation for lower gravity tolerance has finished, but the opposition has reached a climax, and the plans for Luna's population's conversion were postponed. The company wasn't happy at all about this decision and has demanded a compensation for what it sees as a broken promise. New research has been started to increase the extreme temperature tolerances of plants and livestock, which is expected to make future colonization to require less infrastructure and without as much opposition as the lower gravity humans caused. The idea about them anyway. Also, self-healing armor that is suitable for space is being researched on an Indian space station. Even though it has been used on ground and air bases, based vehicles for a long while now. The different environment of space has made the conventional self-healing armor not suitable. At least that's my justification for researching shields, which might start getting more important at this point in the game. The research is at its very early stages and expected to take a long time still to bear fruit. There was a point where Earth very nearly ran out of fuel. The fuel companies did their best to cope with the increased demand that all of the military ships built all around the globe caused by upgrading the technology used in the old refineries and increasing the capacity of others. Also, many new fuel refineries were built to prevent fuel shortage. At last, all of the conventional industry has been converted to trans-Newtonian ones. I might have taken too long with it because there was that uranium shortage at some point and so on. The Sirius system also has a jump gate for whatever reason. It is being debated if it should be explored or not, since at least the first aliens that humanity discovered encountered were hostile. A lot of new colonies have been established after the finding of the hostile aliens. It has caused it has caused such a panic that many people wanted to find another planet to live on in case they came for Earth. New colonies have been established on Alpha Centauri B4, Alpha Centauri A3, and Barnard's star A2. So, minerals are almost exhausted and the uranium stockpiles are really starting to dwindle. Maybe they will not. Maybe after I have finished all of these cruiser buildings, it will start getting back up. But anyway, it's not looking that great right now. The colony on Proxima Centauri A1 has one GU training facility and some terraforming modules in orbit, of course. They are my the ships that I made. So it's starting to get a bit more atmosphere. It's maybe a bit risky to keep these all of these expensive terraforming vessels in orbit around here, but since they can't even move themselves, but oh well. I want to get this place terraformed as soon as possible, so it will not require such a huge amount of infrastructure to support its population. And on the other hand, Newton's star is here. What it's all about. It's also got some terraforming being done, and 41 construction factories, while this has 45 and 11 maintenance facilities. It's starting to get them also, so I don't have to move my fleet back to Earth every time I want to conduct maintenance on them. Also, Newton's star might just get to be some sort of a mining hub for the Earth Empire, not Earth Empire. The well, for India and whatever other nations that might be with join in this things. Anyway, this is one of the the most important planet at the moment for mining. I feel like it's got almost everything I need and good accessibilities and quantities of them. So it's a pretty great planet. Many great planets are on this star system. So this is definitely also something I don't want to lose. This system, I will probably after I've put some defenses on Proxima Centauri A1 or whatever it was. Yes, A1. When I'll start fortifying Newton's star system also. We at the moment the Newton star system. This is Proxima Centauri A1 systems missile base. It's got one of these Mark V ones. We still use the obsolete size 5 missile things. I might as well just use them for something. I have them at least. It only makes sense. This, of course, doesn't have all of its capacity used because I don't even have at the moment enough of these missiles to go around for these missile bases. It's not necessary at any longer. It feels like this old one is being refitted, I'm pretty sure, to the Mark V. Two of each of these monitor things, 2 early warning crafts. One of them is going to be searching doing some gravitational surveying, and while the other one will be at the Proxima Centauri system at the moment, at least. Well, I have some good stockpiles of these missiles. 444 of these, while every ship just uses 13 of these high yield missiles. Yes. 2 mother ships. One of them will be the jump tender thing for the exploring early warning craft, while the other one is on standby by 7 terraformers, and there are plans to make even more of them, even though they are really expensive. It's not good, but it will have to do. And all of my I only have 3 jump capable freighters because I have built jump gates already to 3 of the surrounding systems of Sol, Barnard Star, Newton Star, and Alpha Proxima Centauri. Yes. Alpha Centauri would be beyond the Barnard Star jump point. Yeah. as you can see, I have. Wait a minute. I also have seem to have a jump gate to Alpha Centauri. I didn't even remember that I had. Apparently, I. Yes, that's it. I might have built that one for going there, but not one that for getting back, because, well, what if there are some aliens beyond some of these jump points? So one can never be too sure, Commander. Yes, of course, my galactic map and. What else is there even to talk about? Now, I might as well go over these just quickly. It probably doesn't matter that much. I might need to research some close-in weapon, maybe not even close-in weapon systems, but gauze cannons. Because the missiles are, of course, really expensive for point defense. These are pretty much your go-to things for point defense. The gauze cannons. So that's something for the future to think about. But anyway, this is about it for this. For the period of 2085 to 2090. I, of course, have pressed the remove race here to remove my knowledge of the previously encountered alien race, because they abandoned any hope for contacting them at some point, and that's what they do in that kind of a situation. Anyway, bye.